Welcome back, everybody, to Round 2 Front 9 coverage of the 2020 Green Mountain Championships presented by Discraft, the world leader in disc sports. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here again by Tristan Tanner. We moved to Fox Run Meadows, Tristan.
Yeah, so we went from the very wooded Brewster course to now a very, I wouldn't say open, but it's definitely more placement shots, and it's a totally opposite kind of golf.
Yeah, more of a links-style disc golf course, which I think completes the beauty that is Smuggler's Notch. We have 18 holes of woods and 18 holes of OB heavy, windy distance golf. And again, thank you to all Patreon supporters of Gatekeeper Media. We're going to keep bringing you great disc golf coverage throughout the next, I guess, however many years disc golf's going. Mm-hmm. Eagle McMahon, Calvin Heimburg, Jonathan Propolis from Pennsylvania, and Terry Rothlisberger from Minnesota. This is going to be an awesome card to watch here.
Yeah, super exciting. A lot of good players. Eagle has plenty of distance to attack this course, and yeah, I'm just excited to see how the players who played well in the woods now attack the Open.
And we move into hole number 1, 600-foot par 4, a nice welcome to the course. We have we're pretty much teeing off out of bounds, and we have to shoot onto this island fairway. And the subtle thing here is the fact that the fairway slopes slightly left towards the out of bounds.
Yeah, so it slopes slightly towards the left out of bounds, and then you have that slope continuing up to the green. So it feels like you're always on the left side of the fairway.
So what feels like an easy chip hyzer with something overstable, yet again, will not benefit you unless you land it very precisely. So a lot of players are going to be throwing some sort of hyzer flip to push up this fairway as far as they can.
It looks like Eagle's going with an MD3.
Yeah, with the hole being 600 feet, you really don't need to bite off too much off the tee. Nice and controlled. Eagle throwing a slight hyzer. Perfect shot.
Great shot.
Next in the box, sponsored by Innova Champion Discs. Let's hear for Calvin Heimburg. Go, Calvin.
And as you see here, Calvin pulled out a driver here.
Yeah, I believe this is one of his Eagles. For it to get down. And that's fine. They'll have the tighter gap over there on the right side of the fairway. I do like the fairway driver play, especially we had some wind on this day.
Yes.
And when you throw the fairway driver, you get to keep it under the wind a little bit better.
And Jonathan Propolis, we have not seen him on coverage on Gatekeeper here, but obviously shooting well enough to get on this card is a pretty big deal. Overturns it a little bit. Looks like it is flexing out. And as you can see, the wind is ripping.
Rounding out this foursome from Rosemount, Minnesota. Give it up for Terry Rothlisberger.
Terry, no stranger to these types of cards, and he's an awesome hyzer thrower, so we'll see how he does in this wind.
He's going with the Crystal Raptor. A little bit more of an overstable fairway driver.
I wish you all good luck out there.
Looks
Really,
to be just trusting his forehand for the second shot.
Exactly. And the forehand being Terry's absolute specialty. As you can see, he can get it to roll forward as it lands. Sweet shot there from Terry. And Jonathan, after going out of bounds deep, has kind of a tough second shot here. Great sidearm from Calvin. Not much else to say there.
Eagle with the longest drive. Just an easy approach.
Mm-hmm. And Jonathan throwing a lot from the Trilogy lineup. I believe that is a Maiden or a Cenis that he's throwing for those approaches backhand. You'll see a lot of harp sidearms from him as well.
Great putt there. It's always one that's good to get your round started, edge of circle, especially on a windy day like this, give you some confidence on the green.
Tough start there from Jonathan. I believe he'll be taking a 6.
Oh.
That's about as textbook of a birdie as you could possibly get on this hole. Straight mid-range, straight putter, tap in.
Moving on to hole number 2 is one of the few wooded holes on this course where you actually have to hit a gap. It's just a straight shot. You're trying to get it over this little rock here in the middle of the fairway, and then you're going to be pretty close to the basket.
Yeah, and the trick here is you still have to land the shot soft. We do have a little bit of a sloping fairway, kind of piggybacking off of hole 1's slope, and we do have OB deep. I've seen quite a few players throw too low of a shot and slide it back there as well. Eagle trying to go flippy sidearm with probably a mid-range and just couldn't quite get it to flip up. There's a rhino from Calvin. Great shot. There's some beautiful touch from Jonathan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hit the base. There you go.
That's a great way to come back from that 6 on hole 1. Let's see that again. A little bit nose up, slow drift in the mid-flight.
Oh, that's great.
And we don't know actually where that would have gone if he didn't hit the base, but best part is he did.
Oh, and Eagle has to go forehand roller second shot.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
And he's out of bounds on that second shot. That is brutal.
Be putting 4. Terry just laying up. Got a little away from him, but that should be fine. Wow.
Oh, no.
And
Eagle trying to get tricky on that putt.
Wow. Unfortunate double bogey 5.
Definitely not something, especially with how competent he looked on hole 1.
Yeah.
I feel like that rhino in Calvin's bag is exactly the disc for this hole, especially with how the wind was subtly pushing towards that out of bounds.
Yeah, especially he likes that like nose down flat release.
Yes.
That just pushes and then has the slight fade. It's perfect for this hole. And Jonathan with the drop in.
Fantastic shot. Jonathan moving into hole number 3. Hole number 3, a little bit longer and a little bit more open version of hole number 2. We have a little bit of danger once you crest this hill. If you do have a little bit too much pace on the drive, you can actually sneak through all these trees and roll out of bounds deep, which we have seen a few players do. There's a Spikeheiser route that's also a little tricky. A lot of players are just going to be going up the gut like Calvin.
And there actually is a Mando this year, so no one can go the Spikeheiser route.
Yes.
But that was something a lot of players were electing for, and now it's forcing everyone to go up the gut and bring all these trees into play.
That was a beautiful looking line from Jonathan. And it was funny, there were a lot of players in practice throwing the Spikeheiser, and then the Mando sign got put up. Having to change their game plan here. Terry going, will look like a buzz.
Yep.
And that was such a clean shot from Eagle. Oh my gosh.
I believe that's a P3X.
So smooth.
Now, like you mentioned, that slope on the backside of the green, with all these drives being a little bit short, it really does come into play here on the putts. Oh, great run there.
Looks like he's starting to find his stride after hole 1. There's a good putt from Calvin. And I believe Jonathan is putting with the BT, I think, Hard Swans.
I literally looked at it. I'm like, just don't look at the top.
And we will see you in a few seconds.
Moving on to hole number 4. Again, we have this island fairway type concept, but now we have a couple of bushes in the way that you have to get over, and then one in the fairway that seems to be perfectly placed. And then approaching this green, we have this slight elevated off the rocks, and yeah, this is one where you really start to feel the wind come into play.
Yeah, we do have a lot of players that are trying to go this flex shot to the right of this bush early. And Calvin's just going with a bit of a flat release. The wind did feel like it was pushing left to right on this hole.
Great shot.
So you get a little bit more aggressive with that hyzer play. And there's Eagle going with a pretty hard flex line.
Needs to get down. Oh, that's perfect.
It got down pretty much in the perfect spot. Gets over on it a little bit, but if it flexes out, he might have a shot. And that's going to be out of bounds for Jonathan.
Terry with a force. Just a little bit low.
Unfortunately, out of bounds as well. That tree is just so perfectly placed to make the players really commit to that tee shot. Hyzer forehand gets away from him. And that's another out of bounds for Terry.
That needs to stay up. Oh. Calvin going back to that rhino. Looked like he was expecting a little bit more drop from the wind on that one.
Yeah, it definitely was swirling in some parts, depending on how high or low you were throwing your shots, which was kind of unpredictable. Eagle throwing a super straight putter. That was a great shot. He'll be about 15. Jonathan Cenas drops to about 20. Oh, man.
So close.
Calvin for birdie from about 26, 27 feet here. Low just again.
Good putt there.
And like you said, we are starting to feel the wind. We have a series of holes coming up where it was absolutely ripping at least 20 miles an hour at some parts.
Yeah, definitely. Coming up next is some of the hardest holes on the course. And out here in the open, it really, like you mentioned, swirling wind can really come into play.
Hole number 5 is one of those treacherous holes where you are forced to pretty much play against the wind. We have OB on both sides, and it pinches at the middle and kind of peanuts outwards around this green. And this is one of the more scenic greens on the course. Sloped, dangerous, and somewhat beautiful.
Definitely. Yeah, and like you said, we have a lot of wind on this hole. It looks to be...
It was a hard head cross to the right at this time of day. Eagle almost had it,
So
but that's
close.
a pretty common miss, just getting it over a little bit too much. But at least he'll be pin high. Oh, no. That looked like a misfire from Calvin.
Yep.
Too low. And with this wind pushing hard right, you have to get it up in the air to give it time to hyzer out. And that's another out of bounds for Jonathan. Terry hoping to make a correction here. That's a better height.
That one looks great.
Great shot from Terry.
That's all you want, is just to be down in that bowl.
Or you could do that.
Yeah, that works too.
And that looked like a harp coming out of Jonathan's hand. That was perfect.
Great. Oh,
Sit
no,
down. And that is the risk of running that uphill headwind putt. Terry's got to make a nice reset here.
Terry, definitely one of the more expressive players. in
Expressive
our
to say the
sport.
least.
Yep.
That's a good par save from Eagle. That is the side to miss on, though, if you want a tailwind putt.
Definitely. And just to have the advancement, so you're not
Exactly.
approaching for 4.
Exactly. Calvin takes an up and down bogey. Looks like Jonathan's going to do the same. Uh-oh.
Oh boy, some mini troubles.
But a solid tap in
Yep.
for the bogey
Yep.
from Jonathan.
Great mini pickup there.
Hole number 6. This seems like a very simple hole, uphill, chip hyzer forehand for these professionals, 270 feet. The issue is that same wind that they were playing on the previous hole is now pushing way away from the basket. They have to do exactly what Eagle's doing, high and kind of a jammed hyzer to fight that wind.
Yeah, and you really have to trust your shot on this hole because you cannot see anything of the basket,
Yeah.
and there's not really any markers on this hole to get a judge of where the basket is.
And
Great shot.
and as you can see, they're throwing literal spike forehands here.
And you see Calvin choosing the backhand turnover probably because of that wind, maybe trying to get a little bit more glide out of it.
That's a good tree kick right there.
Definitely.
I really love the thrill. You all have some balls back.
Terry with some nice commentary back there. There's a good birdie from Calvin. It's a nice comeback.
Yep.
Terry snags a birdie.
And Eagle should do the same.
Hey everybody, I'm Paige Pierce, and today I'm going to talk to you about my 2020 Tour Series disc, the Buzz. What I love about this disc is its versatility. It's almost as far as a fairway driver, but it's so straight like a mid-range. The Buzz is a staple in my bag. I think this mold is perfect for anybody. With its slow speed and its controllable flight, It's good for all skill levels, and anybody would benefit from having a buzz in their bag.
Moving on to hole number 7. This is one of the signature holes on the whole property. A par 5, 1,200 feet, and you have this OB you can contend with at the beginning of the hole. You can choose to go short of it or across, and then you just have this skinny fairway all the way down towards the basket.
Yeah, and the players today were faced with a very tough head crosswind yet again, and it was making that option to go across very challenging. And it looks like Eagle's trying to go across with a sidearm here.
Yeah, I saw him doing this in practice.
Oh my gosh.
Great position
That's a
there.
huge sidearm, but I guess from the biggest sidearm player in the world, it kind of makes sense.
Terry just playing the layup there.
And I really like that play. You have a little bit lower ground to shoot to the fairway, but you'll be for sure safe on 2 shots. Calvin also opting to lay up. You know it's a windy day when Calvin is laying up on a 400-foot shot.
Yeah, especially when Calvin got the eagle a couple of years ago.
Yeah, one of the only people ever to 3 the hole within circle 1.
Yep.
But like you said, this is kind of the tougher stretch to score on in the course. So just maintaining and not taking any stupid extra strokes is a big deal. Terry throwing a textbook second shot from that layup zone. Jonathan gets over on his a little bit, and that's another out of bounds for Jonathan. That looks good, and you can still get a birdie from where Calvin was at.
Oh, and a slip from eagle.
And that would be unfortunate to go out of bounds. Wow.
Wow.
Still got a ton of distance for slipping forward on that
Yeah.
shot. That's going to also sit down.
Wow, great shot. Really hugging that right side.
Terry fighting that crosswind with something straight. That should be a pretty stress-free up and down for par.
Yep, Terry just picking his spots. Assume Calvin is going for the basket on this one. That'll give him a putt. And Eagle has more of a high hyzer for his last shot.
Sidearm, sidearm, sidearm. 1,200 feet.
Yep.
All right. Think that's a harp again. Sit down.
Oh,
I think he's
it's-
good.
Wow.
I think he's safe.
Terry just dumping his zone up there.
Wanted the birdie look from circle
Yep.
2. Got a little greedy.
Great putt there.
That's good damage control as well.
Yes, definitely. And bogey on this hole on this day was not too bad. The hole was averaging a full stroke over par.
Eagle taking his time here. He knows birdie on this hole, like you said, is going to take him 2 strokes on the field.
Great putt there.
And that is a huge birdie from Eagle.
Yeah, there are only 6 birdies on the day on this hole. And the hole averaged 6.01.
Wow. Calvin snags a par. Again, still taking a stroke on the field, just taking a simple 5.
And Terry just fully executing his game plan. Looked to be playing for par all the way from the tee to the basket. Moving on to hole number 8. This is one of the most treacherous holes on the course. Most players are going to be taking a big anhyzer off of the tee, trying to get as far around this corner as possible. And this hole slightly goes uphill the whole entire way with this snaking fairway, and then the OB's pretty tight up by the green.
It's so tempting to go for this birdie when you're out of position. You think the second shot is a lot shorter than it really appears.
I would assume Eagle has the power to go forehand on this hole.
And that's actually a fantastic forehand from Eagle. And I've also seen Terry throw some 500-foot sidearms.
A little inside.
Should be good. And this is a more common play, a big turnover with something flippy. Let it pan out.
And that didn't quite get the anhyzer.
Might have been
Just
a
needs to
raider
sit
from
down.
Jonathan. He'll be safe.
Yep. Let's just sit down.
Speaking of game plan,
Yep.
Terry knowing he can't get the birdie from there. The uphill run-up is also challenging. Takes a little bit of speed off the shot.
Calvin going at it with a backhand. Needs to miss those. Oh, no.
No. So close to coming back in bounds. He might have a look to putt for par.
A little bit short from Eagle. Looked like he didn't quite commit all the way to that shot.
Easy scenic approach there from Jonathan.
Oh, no. Ooh.
Oh, man.
Wow.
When it'll be a little bit farther back than I thought. He'll just have to settle for a 5, I believe. Another stress-free par for Eagle.
Terry's not going to be happy with that one. Playing for par and take a bogey.
And we will move into hole number 9. I think one of the iconic par 3s on this course. 480-foot par 3 downhill. OB on both sides. Opens up a little bit to the left side for the righty flat to hyzer shot, which a lot of players are going for. The problem with this tee shot is any micro mistake will send you out of bounds, especially with the wind that we are having.
Eagle going flex
Whoa.
forehand. Wow. And gets the bounce off the hill inbounds. Okay.
Maybe that's something we're not seeing.
Yeah.
And that looks like a decent line from Jonathan. Keep coming.
That's great. Inbounds
Yeah.
and near the basket on this hole is amazing. Like you were mentioning, this kind of seems like the third hole of like a gauntlet
Yes.
on this course. And it's definitely, oh, Terry unfortunately going out of bounds. But this is definitely not an easy finish to it. This traditionally is
No.
a headwind hole. And so you have to play something low and pushing. And then if you put it a little too low, you're just in the dirt way too short.
Calvin gets a nice fortunate push and bounds. Yeah, this one you especially have to be precise off the tee.
A little bit of a run there, maybe from Terry.
Definitely not a run there from Calvin. He'll just take a 3. It really makes me wonder how many of those flex sidearms he was getting to go under the basket in practice.
Yeah, especially in the headwind, it seems like a lot of shape to have
Yeah.
to throw on a pretty open hole.
Oh, no. And a rough 3-putt there from Jonathan. He'll take a bogey.
Dang.
And you hate to see 2 short putts missed in the same hole. Terry's kicking himself for that one. And Eagle takes another stress-free par. Calvin taps out a 3, and Terry, after the out-of-bounds stroke, will take a double bogey. That is it for our front 9 coverage, and man, that wind is beating up our card. We have Eagle shooting a decent round right now, 3 under par, and the rest of the players are just really trying to stay afloat here. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper Media, and Tristan,
We'll see you guys in the back 9.
we will see you in the back 9.